First of all, I'd like to thank the D.C. Bar for giving me this award. I've been a member of the D.C. Bar for a long time. When I graduated from law school, I came down to clerk in Washington, and I took the bar review course then, and I joined the D.C. Bar. They've been involved in government in large part. They understand administrative law, which is what I taught, and they are interested in the Constitution and seeing that the values that are in that Constitution, democracy, basic human rights, equality, rule of law, that all that really works out in America, and they're close to it. And so it's a particular honor for me to be honored by your organization. And I'm very pleased that it's named after Thurgood Marshall. He was a member of the Supreme Court somewhat before I was, and I can remember Sandra O'Connor telling me that one day she was talking to Thurgood Marshall, and he was a little depressed. He thought he wasn't getting very far on some project, or he thought maybe some of the cases weren't going to his liking. She said, "Thurgood, what are you talking about? You are the only member of this court who, if he had never been a Supreme Court justice, would nonetheless have been an American hero." And that was Thurgood Marshall. If you want to be sure, you just sometime read the briefs and his oral argument in Brown versus Board of Education. He had confidence in America. Why? Because if you go back maybe a couple of decades earlier, you will see Oliver Wendell Holmes, a great justice, who said, of course, they in the South are not letting people of color vote, and that is totally unconstitutional. But, he added, if we tell them they have to, they won't do it anyway. We don't have the power to make them do that. Now keep that in mind and read Thurgood Marshall's great speech before the Supreme Court in Brown versus Board of Education. Almost all of it is not about the rights and wrongs of racial segregation. He knows perfectly well that probably every member of the Supreme Court believes with him that segregation on the basis of race is unconstitutional. His argument, as I read it, was mostly, if you come out and say what you think and say that this is unconstitutional, you will see the American public is ready. It will enforce that constitutional provision. It needed Martin Luther King. It needed Rosa Parks. It needed opening up Emmett Till's coffin. It needed the Freedom Riders. It needed people all over this country who weren't in the South to begin to understand that segregation was a real problem because it did not treat all people equally. But eventually, Thurgood Marshall proved to be right. And eventually, segregation, according to law, was ended and integration began. And to be, for me, remembered with an award that has his name on it is a great honor.